back here. I can't believe it. It's been 1 week, exactly 1 week, and 3 days ago, because it's now Friday. I left Tuesday morning. hmm What? So much has happened in 1 week and 3 days, and I am very tired from all the trips. Um, and you can't believe Starbucks in Chicago serve beer and wine at night. Anyways, it's a shock here. I mean, the processing is great actually. I get that a lot more just going through the US because it's all mixed, right? There's no separation between international. It's all domestic. So they only go through security screening. But here there's security and customs, and then there's a US custom. But on the way in, it's just Canadian border, and there's no security, so everyone got mixed. Anyways, I already knew that, but just wanted to reiterate. Um, really appreciate the machine. Speeds things up a lot, especially after having to fucking stand in line at O'Hare for an hour, right? Um, it's nice to get through things quickly, but it's so convoluted here. Everything. It's like, oh, so many things going on. Lights, columns, and it's honestly not even that great of a column. All over the airports, the structural parts are like very important, right? It's integral piece that repeats, and so it kept appearing. And generally, I feel like they pay more attention to it. Here, it just feels a little bit cheap, but maybe it's meant to be economical. Who knows? Um, on that point of being convoluted, look at the floor. It's like so much patterns going on. It's like, do you want to feature the carpet or the tile work and then the ceiling? There are lights, there are columns, there are the white ceiling, the the drop ceiling, and the grid that it sits in. I mean, structurally, I understand that it has to be separate that way, but presented in a very kind of visually dominant is not good. Um, the intention is good. Like, service is great. It's going really fast, and staffs are all around. It's really helpful. Not all airports are like that. Um, but the overall design, the space, is not spacious, even though it's so big. Like I always thought the ceiling should be high. It could be higher. It is actually high. It's double height. Um, so it's like the same height as Detroit, but there's no play with elevation. It's a flat plane, which is fine too. They do it in like the arrival halls, and I think what San Francisco and JFK was like that. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what's the problem. It's the same layout, right? And there's the glass facade lets in light, and then they do some articulation with the ceiling so that the light comes in. Obviously, it's gonna look nicer in the day, but I think it's the floor. It's very distracting, and it's like curvy, going everywhere. Even coming in from the arrival, you can't see where you're going. That's the problem. Like with JFK and O'Hare, they have a similar departure hall. The layout, you go through security. With JFK, it's really light and open, spacious. You sort of see what's next. O'Hare, not so much. But then again, I got kind of stuck in the line. Otherwise, you line up, you can sort of see what's next. So visual porosity helps people get whatever it takes to get people get a sense of where they need to go quickly, I think, and then ambience help kind of lower the level of attention. It's really relevant. I mean, this waterfall and stuff would probably do. Piano is probably a bit much because we don't really have a scene here, like in the East Coast. So nature is probably a good opportunity for that. Um, it's things aren't very orderly here, but maybe that's not so bad. I understand that like they know where to introduce curves so people dwell more and shop more, but there I feel like at Minneapolis it was different, right? They provided a lot of retail spaces, and you wanted to hang out, you wanted to sit down and relax because the overall space was kind of inviting, inducing for that kind of activities, and the stores were just basically capturing onto that. Whereas here it's a little bit forceful, but like look at that ceiling, right? It's a lot going on. So I think very quick impression, and I mean it's not practical, right? I'm sure there are reasons for all these things, but just for my project, columns need to be. There's some investigation that needed to be put into this. I mean the domestic terminal was quite nice, and it's basically playing off the same columns better. Oh my god, and the light inside, it was horrible. Um, Looking from the air side, like you couldn't even read the building. It was like there's that log jam thing floating in the middle, in the way separating the bottom and the second floor, the arrival level. But not really, right? And the light was yellow, and because it was all glass, that was dominating. I think there's no backdrop to it, right? So I think things should be presented visually, anyways, in spaces like this where information is so important, in a very controlled manner, framed, not like everywhere and let go explosion. And let's see. Some integration, right? Because now everything exists as different systems. That's what it's kind of. It's probably better from maintenance point of view and like integration upgrade. So that's going back to my thesis about technology, like that it changes and then like you design it so that it can be updated and stuff. But look, like because it's not integrated, there are like about 4 systems you can see right away: ceiling, structural, light, and sound, and then whatever the hell's going on the floor. I don't know. Like, is that useful? You know what? Like the white tiles don't even line up with anything at all. Like, you would think it would line up with like the check-in counter, but it doesn't. And like, it felt like the SFO, no, the Delta Lounge at SFO, but at least that was really bright. Um, Everything here, every like surface is covered with some texture. It's nice because it's giving like character, right? Kind of like the subway tiles that I've been talking to Amy about that I really like. We need to talk about that too then. But it's not controlled. It's so convoluted. It's everywhere. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I mean, the hotel here is quite nice. You can see the 3 rooms. It's dining, pool or something, lounges and gym, and it just happened to be in a framed window, right? And like the materials different between the hotel and the airport. So for like it's easy to see there are different things, activities side is shown. So, like, it's quite alright. It's just the airport. And so, I think I have a few points to kind of look into, and I have to do it really quick because everything is still kind of in my head. Experience, it's gonna start going away. I can feel it. And oh yeah, what I need to do for the next one is draw out the sections, just like from how I remember it from all the airports. Because I think it'll be interesting. Because here you have like flat roof with like flowy light thingy. Seattle and Detroit would be so different. I mean, those would be really different from like all the other airports, right? And they're all integrated. Oh, structural is a big part, big part. Who would have thought? I guess because the structure is so large, when they can manage to do a column free space, then you can see everything. Or like if the column become more spatially integrated, then it doesn't feel like it's dividing the space, right? Visually, it belongs to like parts of the space, so it works. I mean, I'm starting to look, and there's like windows up there. I have to come back to see what it's like during the daytime, but I bet you don't see anything here now. Would be nice to like have plants or whatever there. Everything just feels so cheap. And I'm sure they're not cheap. It just, oh man, they're not gonna like hearing this video. I have to find a more delicate way to put this. I guess I can't really critique the airport. I just have to position why I'm treating it differently with examples. Yeah. And yeah, it would be interesting to actually figure out how they are to separate. Because, okay, do this again. In the US, the people would be separated into like pre and post security. Here we have what? Pre and post. And then after post, we have international, which I guess I don't really check for anything, right? And then there's like US. So, like, it's two groups of the post. When they land, everyone's kind of like international except if they're domestic. And so, you know, that's the end of the trip. Time to get back home and, yep.